Can the Nvidia GTX 1070 still stand up at 1080p AAA gaming in 2023? Or has this once mighty Team Green giant been put out to pasture? Well, let's find out. My name's Andy and this is Andy's Tech, and I've been looking forward to making this video today, not only because we get to test out an awesome GPU, but I treated myself and brought this specific GTX 1070, which is the palette game rock version of the card, one I wanted on release day but couldn't afford. So let's pray it doesn't disappoint, but I digress, I'm sure she won't. Now, things have come a long way in unoptimization in a short space of time, and 12 months ago I'd have said the GTX 1070 was a sure bet for solid 1080p, 60 FPS high settings performance, but is that the case now? I'd love to know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Luckily, GPU prices have plummeted in line with unoptimization, and the GTX 1070 can be picked up for as low as £60 here in the UK at the moment on a cheeky auction, or around £80 by now. I paid £85 for my card, which is boxed and it was in as new condition, and I have painted the shroud to make it an all white card now as well, just because that was the look I wanted. So what was the 1070 bringing to the table when it was released in 2016 with an MSRP of $380? Now, being a 10 series card makes this a Pascal card and the architecture that needs no introduction. Nvidia has graced us with 1920 CUDA cores, 120 TMUs and 64 ROPs. There's the all-important 8GB of GDDR5 VRAM with a 256-bit bus. Yeah, no comment. There's nothing like progress, hey guys. It's still supported by the latest drivers and will be for a time to come. If we look at similarly performing cards, the RTX 3050 is probably the closest modern match, but at twice the price, with the Vega 56, AMD's catch-up card pulling slightly in front, and the RX 5600 XT, which we took a look at a few weeks ago, performing around 15% faster, but it does have less VRAM. So they're the specs. The test system today is a new one as well, with a Ryzen 5700G, B450 MSI Tomahawk motherboard, 16GB of 3200MHz DDR4 RAM in dual channel, and all the games tested today will be on my crucial Gen 4 M.2 NVMe SSD. Now, I will be running the card with a 100mV undervolt on the core and a 250MHz overclock on the memory. This is super simple to do, and I would urge anyone to do this in 2023 with their card. It will run cooler, quieter and pull less power while losing no performance in the process, and it will increase the life of your card, so what's not to love? I've got a how-to guide on undervolting on my homepage, so maybe go check that video out if you need a bit of advice on that. Right, benchmark time. So I tested a few games today and I've tried to mix it up a bit, but I'm still working on a fixed benchmark list really, and it's kind of evolving from video to video. So if you want to see any games tested that aren't currently, please let me know in the comments down below. I've also stayed away from esports titles today, as this card can run those without any issues really, achieving like 120, 144 FPS in most cases. I was really impressed with the performance of the card today. We managed to achieve a 60 FPS experience in all the games tested, although some sacrifices were made with FSR in a few cases. But we weren't even at the bottom of the barrel in terms of setting wise, running at medium and high in some cases, with high textures on all the titles tested today apart from Plague Tale. Even Widowmakers like The Last of Us and Plague Tale perform well at medium settings, 1080p. Yes, to the person who's going to tell me an RTX 3060 is a better buy. We are a budget tech channel and it's all about use price to performance and gaming on a budget. If you want something that's cheap, it's not going to break the bank and will still provide you with a good entry level experience for those harder to run 1080p AAA titles, then the GTX 1070 has got you covered in my opinion. Yes, it's not going to play the latest games at ultra settings, but it's an £80 card and we have to be realistic. And say over an RX 588GB, it's in a different league to be honest. So thank you for watching the video and taking a look at this card today. I'm by no means a professional tech YouTuber and I'm just trying to share my thoughts and opinions and experience and hopefully give you some insight into the used tech market. Please let me know your thoughts down below on the card in the comments and anything you'd recommend over this card. Lots of love as always guys. Take care, God bless, and look forward to seeing you in the next one.